We are the original Saturday Menudo Club, except no substitutes. Ya no más.
The views and opinions expressed in the Saturday Menudo gatherings, livecasts, or videos do not necessarily reflect the views of the club, its sponsors, the hosts, or its supporters. All content is for information and entertainment purposes. We do support free speech.
Derrick Wynne, he's an Army veteran, infiltrate, correct? Infiltrate. Awesome. Here we go.
How you doing? Also not a politician. So my name is Derrick Wynne, former infantryman in the United States Army. 3 years ago, I was unlawfully discharged for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Since then, I've been spending pretty much every day of my life fighting for accountability. I'm a member of the 231 veterans that basically signed a Declaration of Military Accountability. You can find that at militaryaccountability.net. It's basically our oath that until our dying breath, we will fight for accountability for the crimes that were committed against us within the DoD. I've spent pretty much the last 3 years trying to get conservative politicians to act on this. I've made every level of this government in Texas aware of this, from my local representatives to my congressman to my senator. I've even handed the Declaration of Military Accountability directly to Greg Abbott himself. I've not got a single answer from any politician or supposed representative on this, because every single one of them would rather keep their heads buried safely in the sand than acknowledge what happened to us. The politics around this is heartbreaking, and we need to expose the charlatans amongst us who refuse to act on these crimes committed against us while actively politicking as these Captain America conservatives. We need to basically use the COVID vaccine mandates as a litmus test for your politicians. Make them aware of what happened and expose their knowledge and their lack of action, okay? Because you want to drain the swamp, that's how you do it. The politics, the money that's given to them, both sides, they don't care, okay? So I've spent the last 3 years blindly believing in these conservative politicians who portray themselves as these veteran first advocates, and every single one of them has pulled me in close enough to stab me in the back and silence me. And because conservatives are unable to have tough conversations with their own, they're unable to look people in the eyes and tell them the harsh truths and demand answers instead of asking politely for accountability. We're 3 years down the road on this, okay? And mRNA technology is making leap and bounds ahead of this. And what they're doing is trying to push so much of this into our society that by the time we do get accountability, we can't pull it all out. So DoD whistleblowers tried to bring to the attention of the DoD the huge upticks in myocarditis, pericarditis. They were using us as lab rats for these shots because all of our medical data was stored in one location, which allowed them to circumvent the HIPAA laws that would have allowed your doctor to compare notes with your doctor and your doctor. And they use us as a petri dish, okay? They use our families as a petri dish. They use members of the VA as lab rats on this. And
Derrick, what's the website where people could find out?
Militaryaccountability.net, okay? We initially got this petition pushed out. It had 30,000 signatures in just a couple weeks, and then the website started getting attacked, okay? And they're doing everything they can to make sure that people don't know about the true crimes that were committed. Okay, they're trying to make the public believe that we've been vindicated and we've been all gotten back pay and we've all been brought back in. Nobody wants to come back in. Nobody is willing to serve a corrupt organization that's willing to do what they did to us. And without this, they're giving us the illusion of accountability. They're giving us the illusion of remedy so that they can continue to recruit for wars that nobody wants to fight in. Okay, and the charlatans amongst us, the conservatives that refuse to acknowledge this, That's our enemy. That's my truest enemy. I'd much rather be with some blue-haired liberal liberal that tells me I'm some whack job conspiracy theorist instead of some guy who pulls me in close, pretends to advocate for me, and then just snuffs me out quietly in some back room door. I haven't been able to get a meeting with my elected representative for 3.5 years. I told Brian Babbitt I would drive to Washington on my own dime just to get a sit-down meeting with him. I have not been given that meeting. No politician wants to touch this, okay? And it's with the power, like Doc said, the power was within us. And I'm trying to basically create a coalition within the state of Texas to expose this to our politicians. I'm trying to recruit people like Mary Talley Bowden within the medical industry, firefighters, police officers, teachers, everybody who was affected by this, because within the DOD, we can prove everything that was done to us was done with signatures on paper, okay? We can prove the crimes that were committed against us, and that's why nobody will look at this. And we can then extrapolate that onto every sector of society. And we can prove that this was done through premeditated fraud, which will nullify the immunity from liability. Okay, this will make it to where we can open up the floodgates to lawsuits for everybody who was wrongfully harmed by these vaccines that they were pushing onto us, knowing that it was $1 trillion industry. Okay, DOD whistleblowers tried to bring this to the attention, and they silenced them. They snuffed them out. They took down the data, brought back new data, said, "Oh, there was a glitch in the system." Okay. I have copies of contracts between the DOD and these pharmaceutical companies.
Derrick, we have to bring you back
Yes,
to give
ma'am.
a full presentation.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Please hold your politicians accountable.
Thank you, Derrick. He has a lot of information to share with y'all. We had him come and speak at a previous meeting. He does bring those forms for those of you that want to come back and hear his full story. It is extremely compelling. We also have, I want to recognize Colonel Kaifish in the back. Colonel, if you want to raise your hand, he is a 27-year Marine vet. He has served 7 tours in Afghanistan, Colonel. And he also has a wealth of information in regards to what has happened within our government, how it's been infiltrated. And this isn't just local, not just state, but it's national, it's global. Saboting, globalist, Colonel? Sabatin. So we do have his full video on our website as well. We do ask you to please visit that. Rick, excuse me, I know you have a few more words and then we're going to...
Absolutely.